Chat. 4chan has died. Apparently got hacked. That's really all I know, and that it has been nuked. That's really all I know. The downfall of 4chan, a catastrophic hack by Upper Echelon. Let's see what actually happened. I'm curious. Let's go.
Do we even know who is this 4chan person or website?
He may, and I'm sure we're gonna be able to get some more confirmation on this as the hours and minutes go on. He may have been just a system administrator who knew his way around and how to hack things.
That right there is an internet classic. The hacker known as 4chan, but far beyond the memes or the absurdity of a national news outlet like CNN thinking that the internet message board is somehow an individual person, 4chan is actually a
What the heck was that? I, 4chan is not, as far as I'm aware, not a particular person. 4chan is an internet platform that you can post things on. Similar to like Reddit, but not entirely, because I think you can just do it completely anonymously without logging in or anything.
sort of digital community with very real societal impact. Initially formed in 2003, 4chan has been the hub for a significant number of high profile events. Using a metaphor here, as a result of its anonymity in particular, 4chan is kind of like bedrock internet foundation, if you will. Things that happen here often proliferate to other websites or have broader impact on separate platforms, with a few examples being the hacktivist collective Anonymous, which was initially formed and fostered on 4chan, the notorious meme Pepe the Frog, which may not have been first created on 4chan, but certainly became a sort of mascot for the website, as well as everything
VTuber, deranged VTuber fans also exist on 4chan.
from pop culture events like Gamergate, the famous boogeyman, all the way to celebrity explicit photo dumps, which make national news, which either occurred on
And
or
also 4chan has been plenty of times used to expose predators. That has also happened. It did have certain societal impacts. No denial on this.
fostered by or gained momentum because of 4chan. Depending on who you ask, 4chan is anything from a simple troll pit to a cyber hellscape that should be immediately shut down by the government. But despite individual opinions, the website has persisted for over 2 decades with a dedicated and substantial user base. Except that may have just permanently changed, because 4chan, resulting from a colossal breach of the website's infrastructure, is currently offline, and the level of severity here is such that when the site returns, it will have a long, very slow, and likely extremely costly road ahead of it. That is, if it ever wants to function in the same way ever again. So, what happened? Well, it's a little bit complicated, but I'll do my best to explain the basic history. If anyone has deeper knowledge of this, by the way, feel free to chime in down below in the comment section. I'm certainly not an expert on deep 4chan lore, but for the most part, it's fairly easy to summarize, I think. Over the years, 4chan has created various different splinter communities, I'll call them. For one reason or another, various groups will split off, form rival message boards, or find separate areas to congregate and discuss things amongst themselves. And one of those groups was called Soyjack Party. It's actually the remnants of a different board, which was permanently locked on 4chan after raiding another
Soyjack Party? That's odd. Interesting name.
community and just being overall disruptive on the site. Apparently, someone in this rival community, Soyjack Party, gained access to 4chan's back-end infrastructure because it turned out the website ran on completely antiquated software. 4chan had not received updates, especially to its security, since something like 2016, almost a decade.
Ooh. But why not take whoever is running 4chan, why not take that into consideration? That means somebody got access to the important stuff and then decided, yep, this thing has to go. But aren't they on 4chan itself? Or is that another completely separate website?
Decade ago. And because you can upload PDF files to certain message boards on the website, while the site does not check if those are
So somebody that used the website nuked the website on purpose, or somebody made it accidentally public, and then others got access to it and outside of the website and nuked the platform.
in fact legitimate PDF files, The hacker was able to upload a postscript file, which contained commands, and then with a variety of additional exploits, it's a little bit more complicated than I want to go into right now, permissions could be escalated, thus granting full access to the website files. As far as the story goes, the hacker was able to gain access and then chose to lay dormant for over a year before finally pulling the trigger in something that they called Operation Soy Clips.
Couldn't you name it something cooler? What are these names? Couldn't you have named it something cooler?
But when they did, the results were catastrophic. The entire source code of 4chan has allegedly been leaked to the public. But far more damaging than that, all of the website moderators, administrators, and janitors, Jannies, which is the lower level moderation team who is unpaid, had their usernames and email addresses as well as their IP addresses leaked, which led to a doxing campaign by Soyjack Party, which is currently, as of the scripting of this video at least, affecting pretty much the entire 4chan leadership core. Among the leaked files were private staff discussions, confidential reasons for various bans, as well as moderation
Damn. Essentially, practically entire team got doxxed. Okay, crazy.
tools. But the real damage is that the website cannot easily fix this problem. The entire infrastructure is built on deprecated material, and with the core leadership now subjected to whatever harassment, doxing, and trolling that the wider community decides to throw at them, which is far from negligible, by the way.
Negligible. I hate that word. Thanks to Parrot 4chan, I hate that word. Negligible. Anyways, I guess now you will learn from your own mistakes and realize that you have to properly update security. Maybe you'll learn. But still, it is going to take a while to bring this website back.
4chan moderation staff are not the most popular people, even inside their own community. Efforts to stabilize are likely significantly hindered right now. Here's where it gets funny. Often viewed as a prolific source of disinformation and, more specifically, trolling, as a result of the fact that anyone can post whatever they want without the need to ever make an account on the website, even during its demise, 4chan is the source of widespread deception. Here's an example. This is a post on Twitter, which has 3.4 million views so far, and it's far from the only one, there's many more just like it, which claims that inside the leaked material is a complete accounting of the geographic location for all 4chan posts. The claim is that most of the material or content originates in Israel, and considering the fact that
Israel, US, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Germany. There's a lot of Germans on there.
IP addresses were also part of the breach, having a list break down all of it by region could be plausible. Here's the thing though, this is a fake image from an entirely
Okay, so it's a lie. Interesting. When did they to put it like, le Jews? Is that what this is?
separate website, which is not only outdated, it's also doctored. The stats being shown come from a site called
United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Germany is still up here. Here, Israel is down here. What do you mean the majority? Interesting.
called 4plebs, not 4chan, and Israel isn't even close to the top of the chart in terms of how many posts originate there. All over social media now, the demise of 4chan has somehow become a lightning rod for all these claims that Israel controlled the community, despite the basis for that claim being entirely fabricated, and it definitely doesn't stop there. Another widespread allegation, which is being repeated as fact by a very large number of people right now, is that among the email addresses leaked by the hacker, there are .edu, as in university or college email addresses, and .gov, government emails, tied to administrators and moderators. Yeah, if you go actually find the list, it's out there, but I'm obviously not going to show it right now. It's about 200 private email addresses and usernames. There are three, count them three, .edu addresses and zero, literally zero, .gov emails.
So people online saying that there's feds on there, but there aren't feds on there. Okay.
The claim that the feds ran 4chan and we know because they use their official government email addresses, is yet another lie. Of course, that's not to say that some of these people weren't law enforcement or infiltrators for various different clandestine agencies, but if they were, they certainly didn't use their FBI.gov.
Which kind of makes sense, right? Why the fuck would you use... If you were infiltrating something, doesn't matter what it is, why would you use your government email address if that thing got leaked? That would ruin the entire operation, so it makes no sense. I never understood the idea of, oh, they're probably a Fed, like, can you prove that? Oh, the email address. But would somebody that genuinely works for the government, would they use the government email address?
Email address for the sign up page, people, because that would be a ridiculous thing for someone like that to do. Like, patently absurd if you really think about it. Regardless, the downfall of 4chan is going just about how anyone reasonable would expect it to go. Plenty of legacy media outlets have already covered this, but something I found to be particularly funny came from Reuters. Quote, "Messages sent to 4chan's press email went unreturned. One of the 24 or so alleged moderators purportedly exposed in the hack wrote back using their 4chan email address to say that the site had released a video statement. The user then pointed Reuters to an unrelated, explicit 4-minute video montage. A request for further information was followed by a link to a different video with similar content." End quote. I have to laugh at that, okay? Because it just so perfectly encapsulates the soul of that community. "I'm an official Reuters journalist. Let me reach out to the official press email for the Pepe 4chan trolls. Oops, they didn't say anything. Well, how about this moderator? Oh my, that's porn. Sir, I think you sent me the wrong video. Oh my, that's more porn. Let me write about this for my article in Reuters." Dude, it's just so ridiculous when you actually sit there and think about it happening. Like, the guy, the journalist, doing the thing that he said. Like, it's just so absurd. It's really interesting to me because I didn't know about Soyjack Party before all of this. I don't really keep tabs on that part of the internet, I guess. But for a lot of people, 4chan is like the big bad internet boogeyman. That's actually not the case at all. The moderation staff on
4chan or Kiwi Farms is also up there, as far as I'm aware.
4chan made efforts to implement rules and absolutely suspended people or handed out permabans. But Soyjack Party is not like that. As far as I can tell, anything goes. So it's not exactly surprising that when you create splinter communities, because the members of those communities are too, dangerous, unfiltered, rude, I don't know, they're too toxic for the
Unhinged is the term I would use.
main hub of 4chan. When you create splinter communities like that, it feels like just a matter of time before you end up losing if they decide to come after you. Just to clarify, I titled the video "The Downfall of 4chan," but I do think the website is coming back online. It's obviously coming back in some capacity, at least.
Yeah, it will either come back as it may come back just as 4chan, or it may come back as a new website, or the people will just migrate to a new place and take that over. I heard there's something like 8chan or I think another weird was it 8kun? I don't have no idea. Something like that. Something like that.
But they honestly can't keep doing what they were doing. For years and years and years, they just kicked the can down the road, allowing security and basic functions to essentially just fall apart, which ultimately allowed a hacker to not just gain access, but sit there inside their system for over a year. When the website comes back, it necessarily has to make a number of changes, or one, this stuff will just happen again, and two, people will no longer trust it, which may be a barrier for them to overcome regardless, that they may have difficulty with. Obviously, I think almost anyone using a platform like that will create a burner email address before they do and use a VPN, like the special VPN deal I have for you down below in the description. But even then, a security breach like this takes time, costs money, and puts everyone involved on edge. Certainly a lot of people out there are celebrating all this, and it definitely makes for a good video, obviously. But the framing that I've seen from certain articles and online discussions is a little bit naive, I think. People want to participate in an ecosystem like 4chan. Like, there's a lot of them. A lot of people want to do that. And the people who do actively seek that out aren't just going to wake up the next morning after it gets hacked and say, oh, geez, guess I'll not do that anymore. No, 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 no. They'll go to war. 4chan has notoriously battled against various other groups and communities at certain points in the past, and the result of this hack will certainly be a different community than before to some degree, in some ways, but it won't be gone. Even if the website never came back online, the people don't stop existing. They just migrate. Over time, they would find a new platform or make a new platform, and it would once again populate itself with familiar usernames and similar behavior. It could be an established platform like Twitter, which I think is possibly the most likely if that were to happen.
Oh
Or
god. Migrating to Twitter? I don't know if that's so, what's the word? Good, but we'll have to see.
could be something else, but this idea that the forces of righteously moral victory have somehow found themselves a win from all of this is a little bit ridiculous in my view. Like, you didn't win. Something bad happened to people that you don't like.
That's pretty much what it is, right? It is really just, oh, something bad happened to these people you do not like. They are not going to disappear though. They just will pop up somewhere else. Maybe Twitter, another platform, Reddit. What other things are there? Maybe they're going to start Telegram groups. Who knows? They will find a way to return. This is not the win. You may have just, disrupted the army a little bit. You may have, split up the forces. But that does not mean they're gone.
In a sense, but it's temporary. They can perceive it that way, I guess, if they want to, but what I see is a notorious website being subjected to a historic breach by a splinter community that they, I guess, deliberately alienated, which will become part of the Wikipedia history page, of course, but more so as a temporary downfall, or the fall of what was there and the rise of something new. I think that's probably the most likely. At the end of the day, it's a milestone in the history of a significant platform when it comes to internet culture. Like it or not, the website very much is significant in internet culture, and the resulting direction the website will now take remains to be seen. That's it. That's essentially the story. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. Special VPN deal if you want to go browse a message board like that. Locals in Patreon, monthly memberships, merchandise, social media, etc., etc. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching. Question everything.
Cool, cool, cool. That's pretty much the end of the video. I did not know exactly what happened. So 4chan has splinter communities. One of the splinter communities, somebody in there had found access to the source code of 4chan. Waited a year, was sitting there watching silently, and then eventually decided to pull the plug. And this all worked because whoever is in charge of 4chan did not update its security since 2016 or something. Now people think this is like a huge win, even though we fully know that these people won't disappear. The only sad that really comes from that is that Parrot 4chan lost his job. Because bro makes videos about this. Anyways, that was a good video. I just wonder how they're gonna return. Are the people gonna migrate? Are the people going to, return in another fashion? I do not know. We'll have to see. Will 4chan return? Will it be a completely new platform? We'll see. We'll see.